Good morning. Let me just jump into the video this morning. The title is Benevolent Outcome is Result of Knowing the Truth. Yes, the truth is coming out on many fronts, and that changes everything. For centuries, millennia even, we have been shrouded in misconception and misunderstanding. We thought we were separate and living in an alien world. That is how it seemed from our physical vantage point. However, many are awakening. We are beginning to see many things from a higher perspective, recognizing patterns that were heretofore unrecognizable. With this new awareness, we stand at the threshold of the new world promised by mystics and sages throughout the ages, and more recently, by the new prophets, men and women finding scientific truth. These truths will erode the fabric of lies and enable us to co-create a most benevolent outcome in this nightmare of evolutionary development. As I sat in the meditation room this morning, in the silence, there was a pervasive sense of peace, sort of like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel or sensing where this is going. This whole drama being played out in our lives and on our planet. There are lots of things that are happening that will change the outcome from what it has always been. Because we do know things that we didn't always know. And to me, the most important thing of that is the interconnectedness of all life. That is the bedrock foundation of the spiritual awakening of humanity. That we are not connected, that we are not isolated from each other, from God, from the world, the universe, the cosmos, whatever. And we never have been. We're realizing that things are not as they appeared to be to us. And our definitions will have to be changed of reality because we are recognizing these things. Yesterday, I watched a video on public broadcasting about 9/11. Yes, mainstream television telling the truth of the cover-up and of the lies of the official story of 9/11. Mainstream television here in the United States. I don't know how many public broadcasting stations carried that, but it was the one that I watched it on was the Colorado chapter of PBS. That's good news. They also acknowledged how difficult it is for people to have their paradigm shaken, how that affects people psychologically when things that they believed were a certain way are revealed to be not what they thought, not what they were told. This awakening, this portion of the awakening, the revelation of unpleasant truths, will continue and even accelerate in the days and weeks ahead as 2012 draws to a conclusion in the next few months, basically. It's going to change politics, it's going to change religion, it's going to change the way we do business and banking. It's going to change virtually every aspect of our society. It's not going to happen with the snap of a finger, it's not going to happen overnight. Although I do believe there might be some tipping point revelations that begin to accelerate even further the revelation of truth that leads to the awakening of humankind. We're going to learn that we've never been alone in this universe, that there have always been beings from other dimensions that have been involved in our evolution, and probably, yes, in our creation. That God didn't, some anthropomorphic God did not just create man by himself as if God is separate and creating something separate. No, God has always created the way he has always created, the way she has always created, through the merging of opposites, the light and the dark, the positive and negative, masculine and feminine forces, joining them together and creating offspring. We are all the offspring of creation, of the creators. And as creators, as co-creators, we have also created. So the creation has been ongoing, and our evolutionary process has been ongoing throughout that creative process, throughout that creative force. And it's still active. It's still been leading to what looked like a malevolent world is going to actually be seen to be a very benevolent world. We're going to actually see and awaken to the fact that some of the malevolent things that have happened actually have speeded our awakening, have actually given us gifts that we were unaware of, just like our negative, so-called negative emotions, are gifts of guidance. So in our collective awakening, some of the malevolent things, the crimes against humanity, etc., the horrendous financial system that has existed for the benefit of the few, ultimately awakens the many, which is why the few that want to control and rule the world will not find their plans manifesting, simply because they needed the darkness and ignorance of people, the misconceptions of people, the misunderstandings of people, to continue. As long as they were able to keep their game going in the darkness and keeping people in ignorance, they were guaranteed success. But that's not what's happening. People are waking up. It may not seem fast enough for me and for you, but it is happening. And this is incontrovertible. Even in the Republic, the video that I posted on Sunday about the oath, I mean, the thread this morning, when I came to my computer this morning, the thread on that video, on that posting that somebody else posted on the Republic Facebook page, I mean, I didn't count. I didn't even get to open all of the emails that came for each new posting. But there is a humongous thread that has developed, and I've talked to people and communicated yesterday and over the past few days with people from other states, including the governor of one of the states, besides Florida. And of course, I communicated also with the governor of Florida, of the Florida Republic, and people are recognizing that there are some things that have to be changed. And I'm really, really optimistic that even though there are fundamentalist Christians that still want to hang on to some of the things that don't work, there is a move toward greater understanding even of where they're coming from. There's understanding that's happening all over the place. And there's an awakening. I mean, one of the things that I saw a blurb before I went to bed last night, which on Tuesday nights there's the Republic legislature, and one of the things that the legislature just passed is that signing the documents that I saw for the first time on Saturday, signing those documents and becoming a registered citizen or whatever it's called, are not going to prevent people from holding office in the Republic. In other words, they're not applying it as a religious test, especially the people that don't sign it for religious reasons, because they want religious freedom and rights for everybody. And they see the Holy Bible as a hindrance to that. Now, there's still a lot of dialogue going on, and there's still a lot of steps going to be taken. But in talking to the governor and the lieutenant governor here in Florida yesterday, and talking to people in other states, Tennessee, Arizona, Hawaii, South Carolina, and talking to people in the Republic in other states, I'm realizing that, hey, we're going to work through these differences. We're not going to let these differences tear down the goal of establishing a republic here in the United States and ultimately throughout the world, because a republic cannot be a theocracy by definition, as I said in previous videos. It has to be something that protects everyone's right to follow their own conscience and their own guidance and make their own choices in freedom and sovereignty. It is how sovereignty is established and honored. I mean, it's already established, but it hasn't been honored by our governments. Ultimately, Rusa will have no choice but to honor the sovereignty of everyone, or they will not be able to exist, because the lights are coming on, folks. And that will create a benevolent outcome. That will create a different outcome than what we have known in the past, because we are seeing things through a different prism, through a different filter, if you will. Not everyone is seeing it at the same time. All of our awakening processes are occurring at different stages in our personal lives. So that when one person awakens doesn't mean everybody awakens at the same time around them. But ultimately, each one of us that does awaken makes it easier for others to awaken, and it becomes quantum. It becomes exponential in its process, enabling us to more rapidly shift from a world of malevolence and seeing the world as basically against us to a world of benevolence that sees that creation and everything that exists is for our benefit, for our highest good. It takes a while to get that message, especially when you're going through all sorts of challenges and you feel like your world is falling apart. You know, that's shattering to our ego. That's shattering to our consciousness. That's shattering to our sense of well-being. But ultimately, as we allow the old to be broken up, the new is being formed simultaneously with the breaking up of the old. Now, when I say simultaneously, it doesn't seem simultaneously when you're experiencing it. But it really is all happening at the same time. It's just that there's a delay in our awareness, so that the unconscious becoming conscious doesn't happen in an instant completely. It happens in an instant, and then it gradually unfolds more and more, like a flower opening up. It's open, right? But it's not fully open yet. It has to fully open. And this is what's happening with the human race. We are like a flower that's finally breaking the bud and beginning to open up and to reveal the things that were hidden inside the rose, if you will, or whatever flower you want to choose. I love roses, so that's what I said first. But we're waking up. It's like the lotus blossom opening up and revealing the beauty. And this is what's happening to us, to our human family. Even when it doesn't appear like that's what's happening, it's what's happening. That's the sense that I was getting in my meditation this morning. That these are the things that are unfolding for humanity, for each of us, for all of us. Together, we are co-creating a new reality because we are beginning to know the truth. We are beginning to realize that something is not true just because I believe it. Something is true only because it applies to everyone. If it doesn't apply to everyone, it's not true. Only that which can be applied to everyone can be true. Did I hear what I just said? We are interconnected. That applies to everyone. There is unity even in the apparent disunity. That applies to everyone. It's something to be discovered and awakened to, but it's present. It's there. There is a creator. That applies to everyone. Whether you believe it or not, it applies to everyone. It's beyond religion. Religion has been a hindrance, not a help. And yet, religions have contained within them the seeds of our awakening, the mystical seeds of our blossoming. And this is the time, this is the day and age that all of these things are coming into fruition, and it's a beautiful thing. I thank you once again for listening to the things that Spirit is sharing with me and that I am sharing with you. I love each of you, and I thank you for playing your part in the awakening process. Namaste.